My name is Captain Dan Harrison, formerly of Smith Island. I was born and raised there. This year alone, we've had a lot of abnormal high tides. When I was a child, I remember my father would tell me stories about how much of the north end of Smith Island, which is now part of the Glen Martin National Wildlife Preserve, had washed away. And as a child, you don't have any reference to it when it started and when it ends. I left and went away into service. I retired from the Army, got back to Smith Island in 1984 after being gone for over 20 years. And I actually saw first at hand what my father was making reference to. And then when I was a child, there was only a small channel where we could go through. And I used to work with my dad. We would go through there to move from Hairpin Sand on up to Back Cove. Now there is no land there at all, with the exception of Drum Point Island. The entire landmass that made that peninsula going down has completely washed away. I don't know the actual amount of land that has washed away or washes away during each year, but for the most part, I would say it's probably close to 8 to 12 inches. It could even be a little bit more. I got a feeling that there will be a time, unless there's some type of barrier built up around the island, that the island will just cease to exist, just like Highlands Island. Highlands Island is just about completely gone, and I remember that when I was a child. It's a unique culture. When I left the island, there was approximately 691 folks living there, and now barely 200. So that type of living is diminished almost to a non-existent way of life. There are going to be watermen on the Smith Island until Smith Island ceases to exist. I believe that because there is a sure and sound love of the guys that are over there, they're now watermen, that love that kind of life and that way of life. And that's the only thing they've known since they were children. And it's going to be passed on to their children. There's guys there that just are not going to give it up because they love that way of life. I don't think that there will be any changes with some of the men that are working over there. It's been their culture. It's been their way of life. They love it. Has it gotten hard for them? Yes, it has. That's their way of life. That's the only thing they've ever known.